Hey everyone, welcome to the 110 life gear setup. We recently did the video on my 110 storm setup and people enjoyed that, but the one on my life is going to be a little more varied than my storm gear sets because my storm is basically just all out critical or kind of a more mid-range set where I have some resist and damage as well. But my life has a ton of sets that I use, and it also has some variations in those sets on kind of like what I want to use for certain situations. But I'll try to go over the baseline ones for them so you guys can kind of see if you're a life wizard what you want to be going for, at least at 110. So here's what we have to start things off. I'm going to be going with, actually I'll show my equipment set. This is going to be my life tank set, and then I'll be going over all these. PvP not so much, but I'll show it to you guys so you can look at it. Not that I really use it, but life tank set is the one I'm using, and this has been my baseline one for a long time. So basically it goes for resist, fairly high resist, not like the highest ever, but it's still, you know, pretty good. And then I'm immune to storm. I could be even more immune if I wanted to, but this is just a good resistance across the board. And then let's move over to block. The block isn't as high as it could be, but again, I could change this with different sets. Like, all these gear sets on my life can be interchanged with different pieces depending on the situation. 95 power pip, it's good. It's not like I need super high power pip on this one, but I think if I put it on the jewel somewhere, I probably could get over 100. And then the healing is 99% outgoing. So I can't get more healing than this with a still really decent set, and I'll show that to you guys too. But most of these sets, I mean, you know, most of the tank kind of healing sets have a good amount of healing because I do expect to, you know, be a tank as well as be able to heal a lot too. So let's look at the setup here. I think I'm using all jade on this one. So yeah, full jade 110, or not 110. No reason to use jade 110. The 110 jade gear is out, but all it gives is a little more health, and I think, I'm not even sure, I think more block. I think the robe gives a little more block, maybe. That's it. Or maybe the boots give more block and a little more health. That's it. It's not any measurable difference. So 100 J gear is fine. If you get the 110, great, but it's not something that I would go for. The wand, I'm using the silver orb of the spiral, gives a good amount of block as well as the outgoing. And I think this one's from the Keeper's lore. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the Keeper's lore. I have to remember, but I always forget which ones all these different wands are from. That one's either Keepers or Shamans, so one of those, I would guess. Yeah, I don't think it's from any other ones. So that's where the silver orb's from, one of those. You can just look it up and you'll find it if you want to go for this wand. Another wand option is the Teeth of the Lord's Knight. This one would give more block. I don't know how this one's stitched, but it would give more block at the expense of the outgoing. So I could get 62% block, and then, I mean, that's the only change, really. So that's an option, but I really like the silver order, so I'll be using that most of the time. Cosmic Craze is my default for any life set that I'm going to tank with, and it's just good overall healing stats. I have the socketed 5% outgoing, which helps with the heals. So that's pretty much the one I go for all the time. And then I do have the Rasputin Amulet with a block jewel and then an incoming jewel. So pretty good for the block on this one. I have the Jewel of Shadow Web, but there's no reason to, because this one gives, with the tank set you want to be using the Rasputin one, because why not? It gives a lot of block and resist, and then you can socket a bunch of jewels in that as well. Jewel of Shadow Web I use on hitting gear, but I mean, let's be honest, when do I hit on my life? So Ring of the Dying Star is going to be the ring for my life, and I feel like this one could be better, but I mean, I could have a, like, I don't know, the Storm is okay. The Storm, it's not the best jewel, but that's just what I use. And depending on the situation, I could switch to any one of these different, not the duelist, but any one of these resist rings to fire. The Storm one I use a lot, so this one, honestly, this is the one that I'll probably use more, because I think I get better stats with this one. 123 resist to Storm. Not that I need that much, but I have it. And then okay block, better block for the elemental schools, and then the power pips go up to 99, and then the healing, it drops down too. But those are the rings I use. I mean, it's good to have all the resist rings so I can kind of just switch them out if I want to. The pet is my ward pet. I do have a pet that new ward pet that I should be going for, and I hatched it, but I never trained it. I should take advantage of the member benefits that are going on for this month and go ahead and train that. I don't even know what. I have to look and see which one. I know it's one of these that I hatched, but I never trained it. So I'll have to look for that. But this is my ward pet. Doesn't need fairy. Kind of. I mean, when I have a ton of outgoing, fairy will heal me back for like 2,000 something. Sometimes even like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. Well, not 2,000. I think it's like 1,600. If I went all out, maybe I could get fairy to heal me for 2,000. But I think it's about 1,600 is what fairy can heal me for. So I mean, it's a free heal. And when it does, you know, when Kobe does decide to heal me with that setup, it heals for a lot and it keeps me alive. But I don't know. I would like to have another ward on there, but for now this one's fine. Unless I get another one, then I'll show you guys. The deck, I'm using the Rasputin one that sockets the pip because pip percentage is really good for this set. Just because if I'm not fainting or blading, then having enough power pips to be able to cast like a rebirth or, you know, Satyr or something is useful because I'm going for that healing, so I need the power pips to be able to cast that stuff. And another option, so this is basically like full on resist. Another option is to use, I do have this one. This is one of the robes from the new Immortals pack, and this one's pretty good. Let's just equip this and look at the stats. So this one gives a good amount, actually a lot more block, and then over 100% power pip. The healing's pretty good. What about the resist? The resist drops, but it's not like that bad. So this is an option. This could replace the Jade Robe in some instances. Doesn't give as much resist, but it does give a lot of block, and you know, block could be really good. So that's another option. The other one is the Majoris Armor of Impulse. This is from Rasputin, and this robe is great for the healing. So drops resistance, but in return I get the outgoing heal over 100% with still pretty good block. So definitely a good robe. I mean, this robe is known for having high block and high outgoing. So those are the options for that. I don't think there's anything else that I usually switch to in terms of like a tank set. So I hope that that helps you guys. I mean, really the pet is what it comes down to. If you can have a ward pet, then you'll be a much better tank as any school. I mean, probably not Storm, I would hope, but you know, almost any school. Moving on to the next set, I do have, I guess I could just show the PvP set quick, because this is kind of ties in with my hitting set. So with the PvP set, I'm going to, I mean, here's the stats, high block, 100% power pip. I think I used this set in my like 1v1 life series. So what else are we gonna look at? Crocopatra helmet. I am using the Majoris, but I don't even know if this, I mean, it's pretty good because it gives a high block in that. But what about the, here's the stats of the Rattlebones robe, which gives a lot more damage. Okay, resist, but then the block, I mean, not that you need block anymore, so maybe people would be using this. Although, you might go with the Majoris just because you want to have a lot of healing, which is probably good. So, I don't know. I'm just showing you guys this as a, like, as an example of what I use. Malastare Boots, Soothsayer 110. Here's my Darkmoor. A Thame that I use when I do that. And then Rasputin. You could also use a Jewel of Shadow from Morganth. And then the Duelist Ring for life right there. And then the pet, you guys have probably seen my pet. Which, I mean, do I need the block anymore? Probably not. But this is the one I used back in that series. And I still think it's a good pet, but it's the PvP only pet. And then Rasputin, same one that I used in the other set. For a non-PvP hitting set, if I ever need to, I'd probably go mostly the same gear. I bet I would switch to the Bone Smasher just for the damage, because I don't really think I need to heal too much. And then Malastare, that's, yeah, definitely Darkmoor. Was I using the Darkmoor? Actually, I think that, hold on, let me check quick. Was I using the Darkmoor one in yeah, I was using Darkmoor. I have this one now. Actually, no, that's because my Duelist one is set up for a life tank in PvP, that's why. So, I mean, the duelist one will be better, but I don't have it set up with the correct jewels. I would have to get 2 if I actually did PvP a lot, but I don't, so that's why I'm using that. Everything else is pretty much the same, except this, I would switch to probably the Alpha and Omega. I don't really have an Alpha and Omega, so I guess for now I would just use like a resist one, just because, I mean, I don't have anything else. Or maybe the Ring of the Dying Star. I think I switched over the Alpha and Omega that I had in my life to my fire so he could use it, but not that my life is really going to hit too much. And then I would just use, well, I probably wouldn't use this. I would use my old pet, my Louis, which this is my OG PvP pet, and I use it whenever I need a hit on my life. So that's the setup for an attacking life. Not the best ever, but when am I really going to do that? I only need to do that when I need to solo in something, and I mean, you do need to in some points in Wizard, so that's when I'm using, when you guys see me using this wand and Louis as a pet. That's probably the reason, but it doesn't happen too often. So the final sets are going to be my utility sets, the fishing one, and an energy one. You guys have seen my energy one all the time. It has like 202 energy. I could get more, but this is the one that I use to get up to 200 plus. And Green Warden's energetic mask, which gives 18 energy. The Splendid Tunic gets 15. And then the Green Warden's energetic boots. I could get a better robe, which I've never gotten, which would give, I think it gives over 20. So that would give me a little more energy, but it's not something that I thought was necessary for me to go to, just to have a little more energy. The wand, I'm just using the Swordfish Sword because I don't have the one from Aphrodite. I have it on my Storm, but I don't have it. You can't trade the Aphrodite wands, which is kind of sad. I wish they would switch that, because, like, what's the point? I mean, you might as well be able to trade it, because it's an energy wand, so, I mean, that's the main reason you'd be using it. So I can't trade it, but I'm just using this. I would be using that if I had it. Aphrodite's Stinging Nettle gives 6 energy, so I have that from Aphrodite. And then there's no amulet that gives energy, I don't think. Unless there's one you socket. No, you can't socket. You can't socket. You can only socket energy in Star for your pet. This one gives 8 for the Aphrodite's band, and then my pet gives the base of 8 for the Corgi, and then plus 15 with the jewel. I could get a better jewel, but I've never got him to Ultra, so few little areas that I could get more energy, but I'm fine with having, 200 plus. I have 202. That's the energy set that you guys always see me in, because I always do videos on my life in this set because I don't want to waste energy, because I have 202. If you switch to a different set, then you're going to waste energy, so sometimes I just stay in the set a lot. But let's move on to my fishing set, which I may have shown briefly at one point, but yeah, unstitched, full-on fishing set, and this one gives me 171 energy, which is good, and then I also have the fishing luck, 26% from the fishing. So this is just a base increase of 26%, and then say I use a fishing potion, that gives me up to like 76%. So a lot of fishing luck with this set if I want to. And I mean, even without a fishing elixir, this is still a lot of fishing luck to use. Plus you still have 171 energy to work with in fishing. But usually what happens is I start fishing, if one day I just want to be fishing and I'm at 202 energy in my energy gear, then I start fishing, and once I drop below 170 energy, I switch to this set so I can get the boost of 26% in the fishing luck. But you don't need this set. If you're gonna fish then and you don't want to waste time with fish getting away, then you can just use an elixir and you won't have a problem with that. But it's just nice to have this set sometimes, so that's why I have it. But I think that basically covers everything with the sets that I use. It really varies on my life, like I said in the beginning of this video, because every instance that you go in, any battle, I'm switching around stuff, especially like the deck. A deck setup for life, for me, is, I don't know, I don't think it would be useful for people, because obviously you switch around things all the time or whatever you're doing. And let's just quickly look at my pets. Does anyone remember my OG Sasha, the Dryad pet? This pet was awesome. So much healing. Let me just put the, let's go for an ultimate healing right now. Let's go life, tank. And then I'm going to switch to Sasha. Where's Sasha? That is not Sasha. Sasha, and then we're going to go, I don't have my ultimate heal. I mean, this is okay. Let's try the Majoris, and then, how much healing does this have? I think this is better. And then we're going to go with, yeah, Silver Order is probably the best for that. So this is going to be like my ultimate one for healing set. We'll see how much we can get. I'm pretty sure I can get 135. I might be able to get more with this pet though. Let's see what it is. 146. So I've used sets in the past where I've had decent stats overall and 135. Let's see if I switch the pet back to Kobe if it's 135. I think it should be. Yeah, 130. This is the set that I use when I want to have okay resist, but I'm mostly focused on block and outgoing heals. Like that outgoing heal, if I were to cast Fairy with this heal, that's where I get like the 1600 Fairy. And if you have any other healing buffs going, it's going to do more than that. So I really like this setup for when I'm basically going for healing. I guess the point of this setup here. And 6001 health. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 110 life setup for tanking, hitting, and then a few energy sets thrown in there. And my fishing set, which I'm pretty proud of because you have to buy that fishing set with arena tickets. And you guys know I don't PvP that much. So I ended up spending basically the ones I got from a tournament. And I just spent it all on getting that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this gear setup on my life. Go ahead and leave a like if you guys have enjoyed it. And subscribe for more Wizard videos in the future. I'll see you all next time.